Hey folks, Oddball back. Decided to do something a little bit different. We're gonna do a little bit different pattern. Decided to do one that I'm gonna call the Joker. And those who know me know that I am a Batman fanatic, and the Joker has been a lifelong favorite villain. Um, I wouldn't say I sympathize with him, but a little bit of crazy goes a long way. So we're doing a June bug head, 16th ounce as always. One of these days I will do a 32nd ounce. That way y'all can see the size difference. But yeah, I claim this is June bug. Kind of looks black on the screen, but trust me, I just dipped it. That's what the pigment looks like beforehand. It's this real light lavender color, but it is in fact June bug. It darkens up a whole lot. Catches a lot of light and glimmer. Good stuff. But we're going to start off with purple, 210 denier. We're just going to start rolling it back from the head. Do our body wraps. This is one I'm excited to do because this is a color combination that I've done before. Didn't really get any bites off of it, but also doesn't help that I got it hung on, can't remember if it was a tree or a lily pad or something, but needless to say, I lost that particular jig. And I was none too thrilled about it. But, as always, we roll it back to where the barb is. That's a little bit too much, but we're going to do, this is going to be kind of a flashier jig. I realize that. I'm going to do some of this pretty purple marabou that I got. Love the color on this stuff. Purple and green is just a good combination, in my opinion. I don't know for fishing, but if I test it out and it catches something, I'll let y'all know. Might have pulled a little bit too much. Alright, so we got one of these short feathers, which works out. I want it on the shorter side. We'll lay that down first. Get her length, about that much. We're going to tie it off with a few tight wraps, and then we're going to lock it in. And whenever I say lock it in, it's literally I've done my front wraps and then I pull my material back and I wrap in front of it. And what that does is basically makes a secure, like, see, I'm pulling, it ain't going nowhere. Just makes a more secure purchase on everything. Gives you a place to cut off and tie it down. Alright, with that, we got some of the chartreuse. And popular color, fish love it. So we're going to do that much. Basically, this chartreuse is going to act as our highlighter for color. So that's already getting a good contrast. Then we're going to lock it in. It just so happened to have this one wispy piece floating about, so that works out very well. We will toss that in the old bucket of scraps, and then we'll bury the lead. Ah! Okay. Make sure I didn't have any threads wrapped around the bar, because if I did, I would have had to start this whole thing all over again. And I would not take time to edit that. I would just cut video. But with that, we've got, we're going to stick with our colors. Flashy purple, because why not? This is kind of a flamboyant jig, so let's roll with it. And and some of the chartreuse flashaboo as well to stay on with the color patterns. Now, if I was really good at this, I would have it set up. I would have, if I actually gave this some forethought, I would have tied on some chartreuse before I tied on the purple. That way it would have had chartreuse on top, purple, then chartreuse feathers, and then purple, this stuff underneath. But I don't think that far ahead. Unless I've got a batch that I'm doing and I've got a pattern made. Or I've got my pattern set. Because once I've got a pattern going, I can rock and roll on these things. But sitting here tying for YouTube and videoing it, I tend to just take my time with it. So now, take a strand of chartreuse, a strand of purple. Okay, thought I grabbed it, did not. Put these two together. And looks like I cut one a little short. Oh boy, okay, whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Alright, we're going to tie that in on the side. This will just give us some flashing, make it a little bit prettier. Which, folks, I'm going to let y'all in on a secret. When people claim certain colors hit more than others, yeah, it's been pretty well proven chartreuse is the most popular color to hit. But when it comes to like oddball combinations, like that orange and blue one that I sell a lot of, people swear by that color combination, but I'll go ahead and tell you, if the fish are hungry, they're going to bite whatever's floating in front of them. Just don't make it look too suspicious. Or make it appetizing looking. Whatever. Personally, it comes down to what the fisherman likes. But, all in all, if you're making these for yourself, tie whatever. If you're making them for somebody, go with what they want. If they tell you just to pick something, try to get some ideas off of them. Like, okay, do you want a hair jig? Do you want more natural colors? Do you want it in something kind of wild? Because somebody who likes natural jigs might not like an electric chicken pattern. And that's just saying, you can't please everybody. But in this case, you can. Okay? Make them to order. And don't sell yourself cheap. If somebody says, well, I can get jigs at Walmart cheaper. Yeah, and they're also crap quality jigs. I've bought them before. Yeah, they do okay. But the paint on mine lasts a lot longer. Because after I've done my dip and everything's cooled, I'll have a batch, I'll throw them in my jig, and then I throw them in the oven at 350 for 35-40 minutes and let them cool off. And from there, you would have to take a sledgehammer to them to chip that paint. And I'll go ahead and tell you, get you a, if you're going to be doing this and you're going to be dipping, powder coating your own, get one of these little doodads. It's an eye punch. Punch out the eyes before you bake them, because if you don't, you are going to have a bad time. Okay? Anyway, we're going to do this chartreuse and purple. I done measured it out while I was sitting there talking. And we're going to do our body wraps. Make sure I get this twisted. Remember, whenever we're doing this, we want to have backwards pressure on it. That way it will build the body up. What in the world are you doing? Okay. Because you want that, you want your wraps to be able to cover up any goof ups you've made. You can hide a whole world of ugly with a few well placed wraps. See, this is turning out to be an interesting looking bug. Now, would I have gone with one of the bright green bodies, or well, a bright green head, or chartreuse head? Yeah, maybe, but I thought this might be a different change of pace. So we're going to tie this in, we're going to pull that forward, tie that off, and then lock it in. Alright. I'm going to be glad when the weather decides to stay consistent for more than 3 days. Living in Arkansas, February, the elements suck. We'll do our whip finish. Right. I usually try to do somewhere between 6 and 8 wraps. One day I'll explain how this works, but today is not that day. Snip, snip, snipperoonie. And then resin time. Hanging it on. Some nice thin layer. We ain't got to try to shellac it. Just a thin layer to protect those threads. Woo, buddy, that's bright. I like it. This sucker looks like it come out of a paint show. Remember me and one of my buddies loaded up and went to a EDM paint show, and we had a heck of a time. Lots of fun, great music. I would not be able to do that now that I'm in my 30s, because I'm getting older and I'm getting tired, and to be honest, I've gotten fat and I've gotten lazy. It's like one of the comedians says about being a metalhead. Back when you're younger, you're watching Slayer live, and the older you get, the more likely you're going to be sitting in the back of the crowd going, that's good, that's good, that's good, great, go guys. Anyway, enough of that bull. Alright, so now we'll pull it out of the jig, check our lengths. Those are a little bit long, and snip. And there we have it. The Joker. I think he's kind of cute. Anyway, that's going to be all for this video. As always, keep fishing, take it easy.